This was the last interview that Mr. Houston gave before passing away from a heart attack in April of 1950. Hello. Today on this spring day in 1945, we are speaking with the man who is making many contributions to the civil rights movement and education system of today. Charles Hamilton Houston has worked as a mentor to many lawyers, including Thurgood Marshall. Today, I am interviewing him so that we can discuss his extraordinary accomplishments. Hello, Mr. Houston. How are you doing today?
I'm well, young lady. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm a little nervous, but I just want to thank you for being here and allowing me to interview you today.
Not a problem. Relax. We're just here talking amongst one another, so thank you for being here.
Okay, so my first question is, you have made so many great accomplishments, but I want to start with what made you want to become a lawyer. I know your father was an attorney, but what really inspired you?
Well, you're correct. My father, being a lawyer, brought some interest in me becoming an attorney, but the war really is what prompted me. I received hate mail and discrimination against me while I was in World War I, and I wanted to study law and use my time to fight for men who could not strike back. I really wanted to just say be better than the white people at their own game, if you would say.
Wow, that's interesting. Thank you. You are connected to two Ivy League universities. Howard is an historically black Ivy League, and Harvard is a predominantly white Ivy League. What is your affiliation with these two profound institutions?
Well, I entered Harvard Law School earning my Bachelor of Law degree first, and then I went on to get my Doctor of Laws degree. And as far as Howard University goes, I was the Vice Dean of Howard University Law School back in 1929 up through 1935, and that's where I had the pleasure of working with some of our top students, training 1/4 of the nation's black law students, and among them was Mr. Thurgood Marshall. So during this time, the school became accredited by the Association of American Law Schools and the American Bar Association, and I just take great pride in being a part of both of those institutions.
Yes, you should take pride in those great accomplishments. You then went on to be the first black editor of the Harvard Law Review and went on to become the Vice Dean of Howard University and shaped it into a significant institution. Why did you feel that you needed to help train 1/4 of the nation's black law students when you could have went on and just focused on your own success?
At the time, I can't say that I even focused so much on knowing I was training 1/4 of the nation's black law students at Howard University. I really just wanted them to understand the workings of the government and how the government affected racial issues. So one of the things that I really understood was that the fight for equality of educational opportunity was not an isolated struggle. So you must have the tools to make change. So my job was to give them the tools they needed to make that change.
Wow. So you mentioned before that Thurgood Marshall was one of your trainees. How is it working with Mr. Marshall and actually training him?
I don't know if I was training him or he was training me. The young man was brilliant. He was a brilliant mind. He really wanted to fight segregation. After Marshall graduated from the University of Maryland, he enrolled in Howard University. And so I was able to work with him at the law school and mentor him. I love Marshall's sincerity and his work ethic. He was a great young man.
I also heard that Marshall had a nickname for you. His nickname was Iron Shoes. How did that nickname come about?
Marshall gave me that name because he knew that I did not tolerate laziness. And I had a relentless drive that would not allow anyone around me to be lazy. So they started calling me Iron Shoes. And it started out as a joke. And so many of the other students caught on to it that it just kind of stuck. So that's what they started calling me, Iron Shoes. I might have on a pair of iron shoes right now.
Currently, you're working with the NAACP. What are you currently trying to accomplish?
In working with the NAACP as well as Marshall, I wanted to show the unfair conditions that the African American community is facing right now, mainly in education, and trying to develop a strategy to integrate. I wanted to start that strategy at the higher level, meaning with the law schools and with post-secondary education, and I figured then we could work our way down. So that's really the primary focus at this time.
Well, thank you, Mr. Houston, for allowing me to have the time to interview with you, and I hope you continue to work to fight towards the civil rights movement and your goals, and continue working with the NAACP, and I hope to talk to you again. Thank you.